In today's video, I want to talk about the lonely path of running your own business and why if you want to succeed, you probably need to cut out majority of your friends, and at least as a minimum, you owe it to yourself to seriously audit who you're giving your time and attention to. Also, this is just my personal opinion and what has served me best over the last 5 years of being in business and trying to develop myself as a human being. Also, if you're new to the channel, my name is Rasmus. I'm the owner of Minix, a performance marketing agency where we help e-commerce brands scale up through paid advertising and UGC videos on a performance basis, which basically just means that we make our money based on a very small percentage of whatever we make our clients. So to kick things off, there's this old quote you've probably heard before that says, "You're the sum of the 5 people closest to you." And I don't know if that's like factually correct, but I do think just based on experience that you can get a pretty good sense of who someone is as a person just looking at, the 3 to 5 closest people that they spend majority of the time with. So throughout time, humans have always been part of some sort of community, or if we take it back, thousands of years, we were part of these tribes, and that's where we would get our feedback from. So if we just take men, for example, way back in the day, if we take that example with the tribes, we would get evaluated and get feedback from the rest of the group based on how good we were defending the tribe from, outside enemies, outside men that were maybe trying to attack, right? So how good would we be at throwing rocks or using spears, right? Something like that. And so the main difference between that example, being part of a tribe thousands of years ago and today is that you can pick who you spend your time with. You can pick who to be in your friend group and who you actually devote time and attention to, and you can mold your own circle any way you want, right? Also, we obviously don't have to defend ourselves with spears and rocks nowadays. The world has luckily, gotten a little bit more civilized and we're not in a constant war all the time. So instead of getting evaluated and judged by your tribe on, how well you can hunt, now you can be part of a friend group that can, really have anything you want in common, any sort of shared goal or any sort of shared interest, right? And I think that can both be, the beauty, but also the downfall. If you're someone who's trying to, aim for the stars, trying to have a successful business, trying to have a successful career, be really good at a sport or something like that, right? If you're someone who has really big goals, being able to pick your own friend group and being part of a friend group can both be, amazing, but also really the downfall for you who wants to aim for the stars, right? You who have some sort of huge goal you want to achieve, either having a successful business, a successful career, wanting to become an elite athlete, something like that. If you have very big goals, it can be beautiful to be part and super helpful for you to be part of a really good friend group, but it can also be terrible for you depending on how you shape and mold that friend group. So just try and follow me for this thought exercise, right? Because this is how I view it. See, if you're 25 years old, 20 years old, 30, doesn't really matter, right? Let's say you decide to start your own business because now you decided that you want to become a millionaire in whatever time frame, right? 1, 5, 10 years, doesn't really matter. Right now, you probably have 1 to 5 really close friends that you spend a lot of time with outside of your normal 9 to 5. And chances are, since most people in the world don't want to start their own business, none of your friends will have the urge or desire to start their own business as well. So what will end up happening is that you will have one of 2 choices to make. The first choice you can make is that you can give your business the time, attention, and effort that it really needs to, become successful, and you can achieve your goal of becoming a millionaire in a year, 5 years. The second choice you can make is that you can spend less time on your business and keep continuing seeing your friends, but then you'll be delaying your dreams and goals, and you'll also be jeopardizing your business success because you want to spend time with your friends. And you'll have to make one of these 2 choices, because inevitably what will end up happening is that you'll realize, oh shit, I need to be spending 10, 12 hours a day on my business, at least in the beginning, to take it off, right? To make it take off and actually get some initial sort of success. But spending all that time on your business, that is bound to create friction within your friend group because your friends are still working the normal 9 to 5s. And let's just be honest here for a second. Most of the time you'll be spending with your friends, if you're a super normal guy or girl below 30, most of that time that will either include alcohol or talk about, gossip, sex, the opposite gender, some sort of mental masturbation basically, or both. Because what's happened in society is that we've become so comfortable that that's usually what people resort to talk about because there's nothing really else to talk about. Maybe politics or religion, right? But most friends don't really talk about that because most people know that that's quite an explosive topic. So now you're in a scenario where you have you on this side who wants to, talk about business, talk about money, and you want to spend time actually getting success in your business. And then on the other side, you have your friends who keeps texting you, keeps calling you and saying, hey, let's go out for a beer. Let's go have some fun, right? And these friends, even though they may have your best interest at heart, they'll keep telling you, hey, don't stop being so boring, live your life a little bit, right? Come out, have some fun. And that's something I've gotten a lot of in the last couple years when I've seriously reduced my alcohol intake, because I don't want to wake up with a hangover, to be quite frank. I want to wake up Saturday and Sunday and feel fresh. Even though I might not work, I would rather go out, play tennis, go for a run, go work out, go see some business friends, talk about business or work. But I would rather do that than wake up with a hangover and just feel like shit, right? Like, I don't feel like I'm enjoying myself. So you can continue down this path with your friends where you keep drinking, keep talking about really nothing, or you can cut down massively on your alcohol intake, keep chasing your dreams, chasing your goals. But in that process, like, the sad reality is just that you're bound to lose touch with your friends. The sad reality is that most people, at least in my age group, I'm 25 now, like, people are unable to function without alcohol. Like, they are literally unable to sit in any sort of social setting without a beer, without a drink, without some sort of stimulation to keep their mind occupied. And so whenever I'm back in Denmark, like, I'll have old friends hitting me up, but it's the same message over and over again. It's always, hey, glad to see you home. Do you want to meet for a beer? Or do you want to meet for a drink? Do you want to meet for dinner and go to the club afterwards? And so it's my personal belief that people resort to alcohol and mindless talk about really nothing because it's their escape mechanism from life. It's the same reason why a large majority of the workforce who's employed nowadays actually hate what they do. Like, they live for Friday 5 p.m. to Sunday, and then they absolutely hate it when Monday rolls around. It's because they hate their job, they hate what they actually do. So they live for a very small fraction of the week, and majority of their lives they just spend either sleeping or hating what they have to do. And living in this state of mind is not something you can afford to when you're running your own business. And most likely it's not something you will live in because you made a conscious decision to actually start something that you're passionate about, something that you have a goal to work towards, right? And most people who's employed don't have that, but now you have a goal that you want to become a millionaire in 1, 5, 10 years, doesn't really matter. That makes you motivated, that makes you eager to come back Monday morning, right? And start working with other people or back at their job. But if you're in a group of friends that just live for the weekend, they will inevitably just try and drag you down to their level. It's simple human nature. It's just how we operate as a group, as a unit. We want people in our tribe to be aligned. And from an evolutionary standpoint, that also makes like complete sense if you think about it. If everyone in the tribe is aligned, right? If everyone is on the same path, the same mission, you can defend better, right? To go back to that analogy, like, you can defend better from outside people and outside enemies. And that's why you seriously want to audit your friend group. And if necessary, you need to cut out all friends that no longer serves a purpose in your life. It's not fun, it's not sexy, but it's something necessary if you actually want to achieve those big dreams of yours. And if you actually want to try and get to that next level that you think you can get to. There's not a single person in human history that has achieved anything great being surrounded by a group of friends who has no motivation to achieve anything in life. The great thing for you being in 2023 and being ambitious, you have a much larger pool of people to actually choose from. 200 years ago, you were kind of stuck. If you had, great ambitions to achieve anything in life and there was no one in the city, you were just kind of fucked, right? Nowadays, you can just hop on Instagram, you can hop in a Discord server or whatever, and you can find people from all over the world and link up with those people. You can move country. Like, you have so many different options to find like-minded people. But just think about it. Do you think any great Olympian, right? Any of the great sports athletes we have today, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, bunch of different examples, right? Do you think any of them would have achieved anything great if they were surrounded by fat, obese people who just sat on the couch all day watching TV and had no ambitions in life? Of course they wouldn't. They would have slowly lost their will to compete because no one around them supported them. So instead, what they chose, they made a conscious decision to be around people who tried to lift them up, who also tried to see them succeed, right? Who wanted to see them achieve greatness. And that's also why so many athletes, They will switch coach, they will switch training partners, they will switch teams. They will make sure that their surroundings are as optimized as possible for them to actually achieve greatness. So what if you could have the same? What if you could switch out your current friend group from, drinking beers every single weekend and talking about nonsense things that doesn't make you any smarter, to having a group of friends where you could talk business, you could talk about your business problems, you could talk about money, you could talk about goals, and have that be everything that you would be feeding your brain, instead of all the news gossip, keeping up with the Kardashians. Like, don't you think you would get much further, much faster if you were to do that switch? I know it's not an easy thing to do. You'll probably get shamed by society for it, but you have to tune out that noise from outside people, because they're not living your life. If you're trying to actively change your environment and change your life, whatever action you have to do to make that change, you should do it. You owe that to yourself. If you have a friend or you have a group of friends that doesn't really serve you any purpose, they don't help you to achieve anything in life of what you actually want to achieve, they're not really a friend that you would want to have around anyways, and you'd be better off just switching out that friend and switching in someone else that can actually add value to your life. It's something I do on a repeated basis. Like, I'll just kind of check in on Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever, like just kind of think about it real quick, like, okay, what people in my life right now am I giving the most attention and time to, and do they actually serve me anything? Like, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's just like a quick check-in to make sure, like, okay, am I being fed the correct information? Am I being surrounded by good people who actually want to see me succeed? Because if I have people in my life that don't want me to succeed, I'm never going to succeed. I'll have limiting beliefs the entire way through until I switch out those people for people who actually want to see me succeed and want to see me do great things. And so if I figure out that, I'm spending a lot of time and attention on a specific friend that, doesn't really serve me any purpose, I'll just kind of dial back communication a little bit. And naturally, if you start doing this as well, you'll naturally see the friendship fizzle out, because they will kind of just notice, maybe subconscious, that you're not really interested in them anymore. And then conversation will die, and naturally, like, the friendship will just kind of fizzle out. And I know this topic is a little bit controversial, but I do think as entrepreneurs, we have to do controversial things from time to time. And having a successful business, like, that's hard enough in and of itself. We don't have to make it harder than it already is. And also, as I said, like, this is just my own personal beliefs, and this is what has served me well over the last 5 years of running a business and trying to become successful. But yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of the video. If you have any questions, any feedback, would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.